with an educated opinion on topics of all varieties. Yo, it's your boy Bubba, and you are listening to Bubba's Banter. Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your motherfucking boy. I ain't gotta say no names, right? But I am anyways. It's your boy Bubba, and you are listening to Bubba's Banter. Welcome back. This is the premiere episode, just so y'all guys know. And I'm so happy to be here. And I know you guys been waiting for me to come back and banter with y'all. I'm so excited. I hope you guys been living well, feeling well, because I know I've been doing good. So I hope y'all doing good. But man, I got some shit going on this season. I'm going to be doing a hybrid show. I'm going to be doing videos and also audio. So when I drop a video, there's also going to be audio with it. It's not going to always be a hybrid episode. Sometimes I'm just going to record. Sometimes I'm going to actually do an actual show or video. So yeah, but guess what, y'all? I have a person here for my season premiere show that I've been trying to get on here for a while, Mr. Derick Carver. You come in and greet the people, bro.
No, it's all good. I'm excited to be here, man. Like, it's always interesting conversations you have like, through social media with people that you like get along and you start to build that respect where you start having like honest, open communication. I'm excited about it. I just hope I don't get backlash for it.
I hope I don't. You know what? And just to talk on that a little bit, like the backlash part, like when I first put up that I was on an episode with you, like I got so much shit from people because like I kind of sit in between both sides of the field, like, you know, with certain things and certain conversations and topics. And they were like, why are you doing an episode with him? Like, he's this, and I've seen his content. And I'm like, but I like talk to him. Like, I've been talking to him for a while personally, like in the DM. So like, I see a different person versus the content. I mean, that could be a person too, but like, I kind of get your vibe. So that's why I wanted to do a show with you and like actually talk to you on here. But
no, I'm excited about it, man.
Yeah, but
we have a lot of interesting conversations. I'm curious to see how it goes.
Yeah. So on today's show, we're going to be talking about, you know, sexuality and how it affects our livelihood. So I saw this post while I was scrolling Instagram that said something where you proposed the idea that we should only share our sexual orientation with people that we're going to or who we have the intent to have sex with. And I was just like, why? Like, I wanted to get deeper into it because I was reading the comments and I was like, the comments were more like, they were going left field. And I was like, he actually proposed something and I'm like curious on why he feels this way. And they just was going left field.
I think that's the world we live in, where everything's kind of polarized right now. And I think that like what I like to do is I like to consider myself like an old school, classical, liberal, like center left, like constitutionally, like not necessarily small government, but limited government, and like live within, you know, like reason. And I feel like we've been pushing what's reasonable to the point of into extremes. And that's where we find ourselves, is a lot of people on the fringes and a lot of people feeling like they have to pick a side because the other side is just getting so much further away.
Oh,
there's
my
a lot
God,
of us that are like clinging to the middle.
Yes.
So like I'm disabled, man. You know my backstory. I lost my leg in Afghanistan.
Yeah. So
I feel like if I walked up to people and just introduced myself as, hey, I'm Derick, I only have one leg, and that's how I started every conversation, like
I agree. Like, you would be like, what the, I mean, cause
yeah, man, like you can't do that. You can't live your life identifying as something that exists as a fact for you. Like, and like, if you want to take that to an extreme, that's fine. But if you get so far away that people don't recognize what real is anymore, then I think people need to accept that you've gone too far.
Yeah, I agree. Cause I feel like even me as a gay man, gay black man, I should say, like, I feel like, you know, there's that intersectionality piece there, but like, I feel like a lot of the times I find myself struggling in both areas. Like, I mean, there's times where I hang out with gay people and like sometimes they'll say shit like, and I'm like, bro, like, you know what you just said was hella racist or hella this or hella that. And I'm like, did you forget, like, you're a part of a minority group yourself? Like,
yeah.
And then the same thing, like, hanging out with black people, and some of them, like, I'm more masculine appearing most of the times, especially when I'm around my straight friends. I'm not going to lie about that. I'll code switch. It's a habit. But, like, when I'm around them, they say homophobic shit or they drop the F-bomb a whole bunch of times. And I'm like, the fuck? Like, y'all know I'm a whole ass gay man here that like to suck dick. Like why would you, like, you know, it's the weird, but it's like, I hate it because, like, I don't want to be one of those people who always feel like I need to put myself out there all the time. Like, I don't feel like I need to. I celebrate those who do, but I don't feel like I need to just like walk up and say, "Hey, y'all, I'm a gay big bear boy." Like, you know. But I feel like everybody has identities too.
It's a part of who you are.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what people are conflating. Is like the real thing out there, man. Is I think a lot of people are just lacking purpose, like meaningful purpose in their life. So they latch onto these groups that they can relate to, but not, and then that hey, I can relate to these people becomes an identity for them, and then they start taking it to the absolute, and it's just like any other situation or like person that's like missing something, and like people do it with sports, with diets, like anorexia, like all of these different situations taken to an extreme immediately become a disorder. And I'm not passing judgment. I'm not saying anything about anything in particular. I'm just talking about the mannerisms and the mannerisms, the habits and the behaviors that are manifesting in real life that are causing people's decision making to go off into places that they later regret or that they have to struggle for the next 60 years of their life with, because there was no mechanism in place without triggering 50% of the population. Yeah. And it's on both sides. It's a headache.
Yeah, I agree. Because speaking of identity, I feel like nowadays everything is an identity, and it sucks. It sucks.
It's because we don't have any unifying common goals in America anymore. Like the national anthem's bad, freedom's bad, the Second Amendment's bad, the First Amendment's bad, racism's real, like women are oppressed, like Asian hate, like BLM, like fucking 9/11, fucking January 6th. Like people are just overwhelmed with so much extreme idea that they just don't understand. Like if they just stopped for 24 or 48 hours and like looked in their neighborhood, everything's fine. But and there's no idea of like what real life is outside of like this comfortable bubble that we're just stuck in, and we have created our own problems because we don't want to deal with the real problems in the world.
Yeah. Okay. I can agree with that part, but I do think like, the identity part is like, I mean, you see it on both spectrums. Like I was just talking to my friend about this the other day about how like sometimes I'll see someone with the grunt style t-shirt and I'm like, I already automatically think in my head that they're a Trump supporter, and it sucks to feel like, and I don't treat them differently, but
you're probably not wrong. But I mean, if I see two dudes holding a hand, I assume they're Biden supporters. Like it's not because of anything negative. It's just the odds and probabilities. Like if I'm a betting man.
No, because we do have gay Republicans.
Yeah, but bro, if you're in a room full of 100 gay black dudes, how many are Republicans, and how much are you willing to bet on it? Like you want to bet?
No, we can't bet on that. I won't bet on that. Of course.
Yeah, like maybe 6% of them. Like, okay, you're right. Like I get it.
I mean, but
you're right.
It sucks.
It exists.
But that sucks because I've seen some really cool grunt style t-shirts. I'm not gonna lie, I've seen some cool ones.
Grunt style t-shirt, fuck the world, bro.
And
what
I'm like,
about? Let them think what they want.
But like,
when they say it, you just be like, hey, bro, like you can. It literally says suck my dick, like, bro. Like, you don't even have to read between the lines.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm telling people. Like, it's like, and like, I feel like that's the problem, man. Is like everybody feels like if they don't act in accordance to whatever side or whatever perspective or whatever ideal overarches their life or their social life or some aspect of their life, then they step out and they do something abnormal. Like you're basically exposing your underbelly for attack from everybody to call you some kind of name or asshole. Like if you're like, hey, I'm gonna have my conservative vet bro buddy on the podcast, and people are like, why are you giving him a platform? Like, he's a racist. Like, it's like, well, you don't know shit about me, man. Like, Google my life and look at my family and like start talking about racism. And like, I think people make assumptions because of like, you know, their whatever stereotypes they have, and they forget that everybody can sit in the middle, generally the same place. We don't have to draw lines and isolate anyone.
Right. Cause that's the thing too about this show. Like, I like to have platforms where I can have, you know, open dialogue and conversations that I may not agree with or may agree with, because the world doesn't like work that way where like you should be able to sit in a room with somebody that you like, you know, like you need to have this conversation with, and you need to get it out and make things work. And I just feel like more people should do that to some degree. Yeah. But
and I don't think people understand, like, you can't live this life anywhere else in the world to this degree of success without serious consequences.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, you're not openly gay in China.
Yeah, you're not really.
Like, no. you're not openly gay. Like, I mean, let's be honest. Like it doesn't happen in Africa. It's not common in South America. Like, it's
most definitely
places, but like,
Jamaica.
That's what I'm saying. It's like people are like I'm gonna leave and go where, bitch? Canada? Like, there's nowhere else after this, and that's what I think people need to start holding on to and identifying with, the idea and the idea of what the country's potential is, rather than what it is or what it looks like as we work to that ideal.
Yeah.
And that's what people are just making about themselves, and they forget they're only here for 75 years, and then the country's going to keep going on.
Man, don't say it like that.
Bro, it fucks people up, bro. You're talking about how old you are, and then you're working backwards math, and then you're like, how old is the average person? And you're like 77. How old are you? 40, 37 years. I've already lived half my life. It's like, and what have you done with it?
Exactly. I don't want.
What are you at least building to? Like, what's your goal? Like, what like, think about what some dude's gonna stand up at your funeral one day and be like, Derick was a dickhead. And then he says a bunch of nice shit, man, and like start doing the nice shit.
I agree.
And it doesn't have to be selfish.
But to stay on topic, because we're about to jump off. Like, sexuality for me, it means a lot. I feel like, although like sometimes I do agree that there's those people out there who just like make it a personality and it's just like yucky. Like, bro, come on. I don't need to know like all this extra shit. I also do feel like there's a need to express it to a degree. Because I feel like in today's world, like, this is the first world where I feel like, or growing up now in my adulthood, like, I actually talk to other men who like are confident in talking to me about their sexuality. Like, it's weird because what I'm seeing now, especially, I've talked to a lot of dudes, I talked to a lot of guys. It's weird. I pillow talk with so many of them who happens to be, you know, straight or whatever. Like for instance, the conversation I had with my straight bro last week. He told me, he said, remember the conversation I told you about how like I wanted my wife to peg me or whatever? And I was like, yeah, I remember talking about that. And he was like, bro, when I asked her, the first thing she said to me was, are you gay? Like, I need to know, are you gay? And I was like, this is fucked up, because this is like where like men, like a man can't even say, hey, I want to experience this, but I still want to be like with my wife. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, she's got a narrow perspective on life.
No, that's just, it sucks. Like when you have guys in situations like that where, like, that's why I believe when you express your sexuality.
How does personal preference come down to like the dudes that are in relationships with their wives don't like to give blowjobs? Like, I mean, you're in just a situation where they don't want to compromise in that fashion.
I couldn't be. I wouldn't be.
May or may not hold.
I wouldn't be in a relationship like that.
He married her though, you know. Like, if the first thing she went to is, "Are you gay?" Like, she's obviously got some kind of reason or a pathway to get there.
I mean,
that's like
but
personal trauma.
I guess God.
I wouldn't say you're gay. I'd be like, damn, that's a little weird, but I wouldn't say gay.
She went right to gay. Like she. I mean,
yeah, but dude, people got bias. Like, you got bias. I got bias.
We all do got biases.
If I see a bunch of like tied up Mexicans and like cholo shades, you know.
Did you think they're?
I'm in Texas, bro. That looks like cartel, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
If I see a bunch of like nerdy white dudes dressed up in like collared shirts and Oakleys with cargo shorts on, I think FBI. I mean, I get it.
FBI. Oh gosh. But no, I'm just saying, like, for that part of it though, like, I feel like that's why I think like people should be able to express it to a degree where, because sexuality means a lot. Like, it really does mean a lot to our. It really is like the driving force between our thoughts and our feelings and emotions. Most of it, you can look this up. This is factual. This ain't like me just saying this is opinion. This is like, it creates healthy relationships, intimate ones, romantic ones. It does. And I just think that
what like the openness, or what do you mean, expression, or
yeah, like expression of like sexuality, like.
Yeah, maybe, but like, dude, like, what my intent is like, it's like, what's the difference between sexual harassment and like a good pickup line? Whether the chick thinks you're attractive. So if you just crack off and say the wrong thing to the wrong person, they can take it however they want.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's the disadvantage of it. Of course, I understand that part.
But it's not even a disadvantage, man. It can cost you your job. It can cost you like status in society. For real, like, you could register as a sex offender, bro. All for
exactly
for cracking off the wrong joke at the wrong chick at the wrong time because she like was having a moment.
But there's appropriate ways to. What I'm saying is there's appropriate ways to express. Like, okay. Hypothetically, let's say this. Let's say you met this sexy ass chick, fucking fine, bomb as hell, and you were like, okay, I want to go on a date with her, but let's just hang out. And y'all hang out, you know, y'all kick it, y'all talk, y'all go to lunch or whatever. And then you say, hey, like, I want to can I go on a date with you? And she'd be like, bro, I'm a lesbian. And you didn't have no clue on the fact that she's a lesbian. You'll be like, fuck. Like, I had all this.
Yeah, I mean, I've hung out with lipstick lesbians all over the time. And I was like, are you sure?
See, but that's what I'm saying.
And I'm like, curious, maybe. Like, the beard might do it for you. Like, close your eyes and, like, just.
But that comes.
But, like, listen, man, that's people's preference. It's like asking someone to explain why they're gay. It's like, I don't know. Like, the same reason, like, put your finger out there.
I can explain
bend
it.
Your finger. What'd you do? And people can't explain it. They just do it. Like, you're just bending your finger. It's like, that's how you are. And like, it's like, that's your sexual preference. That's everything. Like, you're predisposed genetically and through nature to like sexual preference and selection, period. Like, you're kind of born with it. You're kind of in an environment for it, and it comes together. And we see that both ways on the spectrum. Like, it's
okay. Like, I was gonna say sexuality is a spectrum.
I think homosexuality is normal in the human species. Throughout time, there's always been effeminate men.
Yeah,
and I think it's just a means of population regulation. The only difference between this generation of homosexuals and previous generations of homosexuals is modern day homosexuals don't reproduce, and that's a problem. Because throughout history, even though they were preferenced towards their same sex, they still had an obligation to the species to reproduce.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just think that obligation's there still, and that it's normal, a part of it. It's a means of population preference. It's genetically, you can look at, like, man, you can look at guys and you know, that guy is not gay.
Hey, some people say about me until I'm like, nah. I'm like, nah.
All you gotta do is fucking crack a joke and you laugh and you fucking get in your giggle and like, that dude's gay.
No, not always. Not always.
Right, there it is. It's giveaway.
Not always, bro. I mean, now, but like, I think because I become so more comfortable with myself and I'm like able to like let that wall down.
That's called maturity, bro.
Yeah. But like, I'm telling you, I can show you the screenshots from females always asking me like, bro, are you sure? Are you not bi? Like, nah, I'm not.
Well, that's because she's got an ego.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like dudes at bars that see like, oh, you ask lipstick lesbians to get hit on by straight dudes all the time. Their whole life. Are you sure you're gay? Let me try. I used to be that guy.
I mean, but I don't know. Like, I look at it too in the sense of like, okay, for instance, like androgynous type of men, like Prince. Prince was like fucking like the most feminine.
Prince was on a lot of drugs.
Prince is the most,
a lot of different states of consciousness, and relied on a heavy level of creativity to exist.
But he was literally like the most. When I think of a feminine man, I think of Prince. Like the most exaggerated feminine guy, over the top, flamboyant. I think of Prince.
Yeah.
But quote unquote, he had bitches.
But Prince was very much
bitches.
Gay to bisexual.
I mean,
Prince is probably like someone that he falls in that like absolute pleasurist. Like there's some kind of like Buddhist or fucking next level. Like he was on like the state of mind that he had to operate in to live that life and stuff. Like I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying it like that's unique. Like Prince was a creative talent and a genius in a certain respect, and that was like the price he paid. You know? Yeah.
But it just sucks because I think like men like that, they can't like in today's world of, you know, and I know this is like your trigger word, but I'm gonna say it anyways. All right. Toxic masculinity. By the way, I don't necessarily believe in toxic masculinity. I've talked about that multiple times on my show. I'm not a big fan of it. It's a buzzword. Like I believe it. I believe that it's there, but
no, the cause and effect. Like toxic masculinity is the result of the wrong or too little masculinity in a situation, as opposed to the appropriate amount or the right kind of masculinity. And there are variations and degrees.
Yeah, but anyways, what I really wanted to just nail down onto that, it was just like, I do feel like there are people who just go so hard about their sexuality to a point where it's just boring or it's just annoying. And I just feel like you can share, you can be private, you can do whatever. Just don't be a fucking annoying about it. Don't be a nuisance about sharing whatever, you know. But I understand what you were saying now. Like now that you explain it further, I'm like, okay. Because I took it from a different route of like, oh, don't share your sexuality with whoever. Don't say this is that. Because I'm like, bro, all the goddamn gay tags I use on Instagram and like. Yeah,
but that's not the same though. Like I can like embrace being a disabled person without identifying as making it a part of my identity. Yeah. And I think that's the problem is like, I think in certain circles, buying into this ideal or this lifestyle means that you have to also follow these subsets of life.
I agree.
On a full-on, no questions asked basis, as opposed to objectively looking at each one and seeing what you agree with and which makes sense. So people are like, you can't be anti-abortion except in like risk of mother's life and like up to like 8 weeks. That just makes you you're just a hardcore white ringer. Like if you don't do 9 month or like full term abortion, like you're ostracized as a super conservative or like whatever the super MAGA or like it's because it's like I'm like a classical liberal, man. Like I figure like if you don't know you're pregnant at 8 months, like you got fucking other concerns in your life, but you need to fucking ride that one out for a month and give it up for adoption. Like there's like I don't think like pulling it out and starting over saying damn next time. Yeah, like, that's not how like it should work.
I agree. I just I feel that way about, you know, being a gay man. Like I feel like.
Do you think it comes from being insecure?
What?
I wonder sometimes, like, there's so much so brave talk in the gay community, and I support gay people, but not the alphabet crew. So, like, I like gays, lesbians, like bisexuals. Like, sure, man, I get it. Like, there's a place for it. Like, you want to start like getting dollars in your underwear from 5-year-olds. I have a problem. Like, but like my point is.
Go ahead.
My point is like, I do you ever wonder if it comes from a place of insecurity? Because like when I first lost my leg, I know there was like 4 years where I didn't wear shorts. I only wore pants. I didn't want people to fixate on it. And then when I wore shorts, I got accustomed to the attention of wearing shorts. So then I'd rather just wear shorts so people can make their assumptions and have the conversation on my terms, as opposed to like guessing or seeing me struggle or parking a parking spot. So then it came from a place of insecurity where I was like, oh, you know, like, you know, I got to explain myself, or I got to justify this because they don't know this about me. So if I tell them this, and this makes more sense to them. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's just exhausting.
No, you know, no.
Like, I wonder if that's for how it happens in the gay community.
That is how it happens.
Gay.
That is how it happens. I can say when I first came out 8 years ago, like had a hard time saying I was. So I first came out as bisexual. I was actively having sex with women still, but like, I just wasn't like, okay, the level that I have with these women, like maybe I haven't found the one, but I know right now, like these guys over here, these three that I have this connection with, this feels more natural and feels like it's supposed to be. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm gay, but I had a hard time telling people that I was gay. And then going to certain bars and going to certain places.
Did you feel like you were letting people down or your family down by being gay, and that's why you didn't tell them?
Yeah, I did. Especially,
okay,
yeah,
that makes sense.
Because it was, I mean, from my point of view, and as an individual, I feel like the world views being gay as less or weak, especially as a man. And I still struggle with that idea, especially as being a man. Like I take pride in being a man. So like. I'm 33 years old and I'm still struggling with the idea of what it is to be a man. So like the whole thing of being gay on top of it is like, whoa, okay. So I struggle with that a bit. And then over the years, just like being kind of like hanging out with people, going to certain places. When I went out to New York and I went to Stonewall, like it changed my perspective of like, bro, you only have one life to live. You're happy. You're free. Like, be yourself. You don't have to be like every gay person either. Like, I'm not necessarily like, I don't want to say this because I feel like I'm gonna get canceled, but like, I'm not the biggest drag queen fan, but I like drag. Yeah. I like drag for what it is. Like, I like, I'm not necessarily like, oh, I want to go to the drag show, but I like there's certain artists who are.
I'll go to drag queen bingo all brunch long and have fun with my friends, but the minute like people start bringing children into it and start distorting what drag queen is to the masses, it corrupts like what like it's like what porn does to sex. It corrupts it with false ideas of reality. Yeah, and that's what I think we have to be careful of, because especially in the gay community, and like I don't even have to justify myself. Like in the gay community, the gay population has to be aware that there's negative aspects of the community that are attempting to hijack the overall message to fit an agenda that doesn't fit their lifestyle. Yeah. Because communism, homosexuality, bro, doesn't fucking work.
I gotta agree with that. I agree. Like, I mean, my thing was like the drags reading books and shit. They've been doing that for years. I've been to a few of them. Like, I took my niece actually to one and she loved it. But like, it's never.
Your niece sees homosexuality every day of her life involved with, like, just like my nephew sees disabled people every day of his life because of family relations, so they can understand the life better because they're exposed to it more, as opposed to just one-off or randomly in their life where they try to build an immediate impact with the child to manipulate the development of their ideas of certain principles. It's like it's the intent, bro, and like. Like where it's happening, I think, is what's changing. I think you're right. It's always happened. There's always been trannies. There's always been brunches. There's always been that people around. But like at the same time, I think it's the deliberate exposure that I think people are like with intent. Yeah. I think it's just making the community look bad.
Yeah. And I think that too, like, even we could talk about a little bit about that, but like even that in that situation, like I remember I was with a group of friends and we talked about it and I was like, I'm okay with drag readings, but like if they were like at an actual bar, like it would kind of feel weird to me. Like now bars and lounges are different, but still, like if it's just you guys, like so there's this picture of this kid doing drag and he was like dancing and someone threw money at him or something, and someone took this, and I was like, you know what, like I understand the aspect of how they see it, like that's bad, but like how I see it from a dancer's perspective, because I used to dance, I was a crumper for about 7 years, and we do sessions like that. We do sessions where we kick it and dance and all that shit. And it may not be provocative or twerking or whatever it is, but like, I didn't see the harm in it because of that mind frame.
Yeah. Well, it's because you came from a place where people did this on the regular to develop their skills and challenge themselves and learn new techniques. Like that's what battle dancing, that's what like getting together with a group is. That's what pickup football is. That's a group of people with a common interest, sharing a pastime and developing unique skills to further their individual hobbies that they all enjoy together and collectively. The problem is when you do that with intent of expanding those ideas and you're not honest about it. Like if you say, hey, we're going to expose people to these ideas. Okay, well, offer that opportunity, but don't do it in a manipulative way. We're excluding people that matter the most in their life, like parents, or don't do it from arbitrary positions of power, like at a school board level, and slip in books that everybody can universally agree that are inappropriate for certain ages. And like you even see like Instagram pages where it's like gay people that are pissed off, especially women, like lesbians, like
gays for groomers. I know.
Masculine lesbians, like the butchers, bro, are pissed, man. They're like no, you're not a fucking man, you know. Like
butch women are evil, though,
because like it's manipulating, blurring the lines, and it's just like, well, fuck, man. If we got to argue about this, none of this makes sense.
It just sucks because I always feel like lesbians and gays kind of have like this this battle, though. Like we kind of have like this fucking battle where we like, I don't like you, bitch. You like. And it's weird.
You're like on the same side with no interest of working together. You're like, I literally would rather fuck my own half of the species than deal with your half, but we're on the same fucking side.
Yeah,
I agree. Exactly what it is. And the gay dudes are like, I don't want to put up with bitches. This is why I fuck men.
Yeah.
And then but you're on the same size, and like bisexuality is like a phase or a lifestyle or like a choice that people make in certain circumstances throughout life. But most of those people that aren't dedicated to a gay or lesbian lifestyle tend to like marry heterosexually.
Yeah.
So like that's like a participation in the community, but not a dedication to the community.
Yeah.
So like now you just have gay men, lesbians, and now you have transsexuals, and they're blurring the lines for gay men and women. And I think that's becoming a problem for community because they're doing it through education programs and federal pushes and regulations, as opposed to like society's openness and willingness to accept it. And Obama failed with this in 2012 with the military, because that's the federal government's mixing grounds and melting pots for ideas, you know, racism, segregation, military, all of these things start there, and it wasn't accepted. And the poster child is Brady Manley or Chelsea Manning or, you know, a traitor. So it's just like this community is pushing really hard against science and common sense, and they're doing it in a manipulative way, and the public's starting to like catch on, and it's isolating the entire community.
Yeah.
And it's tragic, man, because you're putting yourselves on a slippery slope, and people need to recognize it.
I don't want to put on my allyship hat because I'm just not in that.
Not in that space.
I
just went on a tangent. I wouldn't either.
Yeah, I'm not in that space, but I will say is that I feel like those people with those intents eventually are the ones that are getting seeked out and are going to get in trouble eventually. I mean, I think sometimes we do put our we put our mindset on those people who are doing the bad shit so much that we're actually forgetting the ones who are trying to do the good shit too. Like that's fair. I mean, even like I remember talking about trans people in sports, and I don't want to jump off it, but I'm going to say this just to say it. There's a Brazilian boxer. I forgot her name, but she goes by she, and she fights men. She don't fight women. She fights men.
For her, how's she doing? Is she getting crushed?
No. She's one like
okay, so she can hold her on. So look, and so she's on testosterone. She's got her body dialed in, but like that didn't happen overnight, bro. That's like
I'm saying she's a
level of training.
I'm saying she's a trans woman fighting men.
Fights as a man.
No, she fights men like as a woman in Brazil.
So she's a cross-dresser.
No, she's a trans woman, bro.
Like she made the she did the snap. She did. I
don't want to say she did the snap. I don't know about that.
No, so she.
I don't want to assume that.
Bro, so like, hey, look, man.
I mean, there's also
if there's a dick.
Stop, bro. You're getting canceled, bro. Stop. Stop it. Stop that shit. No, that's not how it goes, bro. No, that's not how it goes.
What I'm just confused, man, because when I look down, I see this BOD.
Okay, hold on. There's also a trans man who is fighting men, and he has won 2 matches. And since he's been putting out fights, no one wants to fight him.
There's no win in it for a biological man to beat up a biological female.
But they're getting beat up.
There's none. Bro,
and they didn't know
he. Saying it's not possible, but I'm saying it's.
And they didn't know he was trans either until it actually hit the news.
Look, man. Like I support whatever people feel the need to do to make their life.
It's a catch-22.
As long as there's not a negative impact. But at the same time, if you're like imposing and forcing like and your justification is such a fringe minority of the population, but you want to change the 99.998% of population to these 0.002% population's will. It's just not fair and reasonable, bro. And it never happens in history. In fact, the fact that we're so open and accepting to where like it should be celebrated, not used against the country, because you're putting yourself in a lose-lose situation where you're in the place, and the only place in the world where this is tolerable. And I say that because a lot of this is becoming intolerable for parents. Like, kids are leaving public school districts in droves because of like extreme ideals that come from gender, sex, and race, and it's affecting our nation, bro.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like the world. This is my opinion. In my opinion, as just me, I feel like the world is too complex just not to say anything or be quiet, especially in the world we live today. Like, children today are more exposed to things that I've never seen a gay man on TV. Until I mean, besides like RuPaul, but that was like.
Did you watch Big Daddy in 1993, bro? They had gay dudes babysitting the kid in 1993.
But you know what I mean, like, you know what I mean.
4% of the population is gay, bro. Not 49%.
But you know what I mean when I say I've never seen a gay man on TV.
Like, bro, we have entire cities that are dedicated to gay culture. Columbus, Ohio is bougie because of gay people, bro.
We do now. Like, especially now.
These are not secrets. But this is 30, 40 years later. This isn't 1999.
It's not.
It's not. But like, Ricky Martin's not in the closet anymore,
But
bro.
when you say this is 30, 40 years, it still feels like it because of how wait. It still feels like it because of laws that are being put in place, the way people are being treated.
Laws,
bro, come on. You know what laws? Out of all the people in the world, you know this stuff. Like, bro, there's laws like
I'm super familiar with it.
I know you are, but ways that people can't even donate blood, like. Because you think we have HIV?
It's unsafe. I can't donate blood. I got 52 blood transfusions. I was on an army program for 5 years because there's different blood screening processes across the world. I didn't take it personally. I understood that decisions in my life put me in a position where my blood was no longer universally acceptable or potentially even safe. Look at the monkeypox situation. Look at AIDS epidemics in the 80s and 90s. These aren't just things that happened. These are like ongoing issues that we're still struggling with as a society.
We are.
And people, but the problem is people are overhyping or underhyping or overinflating and wasting resources. And it's in autism too. Look at what they did with Alzheimer's. Like, they wasted all that time, and like, look at what they just found out about opioids and dopamine and depression. They're not correlated. So you have all these scientific situations that are developing with proper research coming out to be completely wrong, but you have people doubling down on it. It's insane and it's madness.
So to me, if so, there was an article that came out that, and I think this was in the UK, so I can't necessarily use that. So I'm not going to do it.
No, I mean,
but there's an article that came out that heterosexuals are, the rise in HIV and AIDS are going up for the first time in like 2 decades that it has happened.
I you know what? I believe that, but you got to understand. I would bet it's because of the crossover in population and the bisexual cases between the male population.
No, I think what it is though is because a lot of more men are becoming, especially gay men, they're
bisexual.
And having unprotected sex.
Their sexual behavior has to be bisexual if it's transmitting from male to male to female situations. So there's a higher percentage of bisexuality and commonplace on the male population now than there was 30 years ago. That's the difference between these diseases, correlations, and AIDS.
I think the reason why it's doing that though is because people are becoming more liberal. No one's having sexual.
That's not a good thing, bro.
When I mean liberal, I don't mean like liberal.
I know what you meant. Like, listen, more promiscuous sex is never a good thing in society.
And that's what people are doing.
I don't care I don't care. Like, liberal idea. I think that, yes, you're correct. The more liberal the country accepts in sexual promiscuity, then the higher prevalence for these problems to occur in uncommon and non-traditional populations because of the crossover.
Yeah,
but at the same time, bro, like that doesn't mean it's a good thing. I think we should decrease promiscuity across all.
It's not a good thing,
bro. I think everybody should wait till they're married, and if you're like, and I think if you start developing, hold on, and if you start developing like non-traditional feelings through puberty, you kind of write it out until you kind of figure out who you are as a person. Not somebody puts you in a pipeline that leads you down a path to like, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I feel like when it comes to this whole thing, like, yes, I made the choice, I guess, if we want to say it by those terms. That I
don't think you did. I don't think being gay is a choice. No one would choose a harder life, bro. I think that's reasonable. But you are biologically driven to this behavior because you get an increased chemical reaction in your brain from those experiences that drives you to that reoccurring behavior. Like, don't overcomplicate it. Like, that's
so
how it works.
I feel like I should be able to give blood. At least let me get tested. You know.
Yeah, but here's the thing, man. Like, what they're saying is 4% of the population is gay. But they attribute to 80% of the bloodborne issues in America. So if they eliminate 4%, they don't have to screen the other 96%. Just like if you've had certain types of surgery or gone to specific countries, your blood can't enter the pool because they're not even going to screen for that for every piece, or that eliminates 98% of the screening that they have to do to clear the blood for use. So it's basically purely on like the exposure of your blood because of certain lifestyle habits, bro. If you travel to Africa every month, you will never give blood in America.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Yeah, straight.
I actually talked to an African dude. Yeah.
Regardless if you're fucking nobody, bro.
I actually talked to someone from Africa about that. I talked to one of my friends from Nigeria. He told me that.
But like, this is what I'm saying. The population doesn't have to take it personally. They just have to understand how their lifestyle impacts their place in society. And because of simple facts that is beyond their control, because of natural human behavior, they have to be willing to give up. Hey man, you're right. You can't give blood. It sucks, but I guarantee this much. If someone's bleeding to death on the ground and you have the same blood type and like, you're like doing a direct line shit, like they were with me in Afghanistan, he's not going to stop and be like, hey bro,
do you have HIV?
Gay, are you? Because I don't want gay blood in me.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll give you that. Okay. You won me over. You won me over, bro. Okay. You won me over. You got me.
But like, what I'm saying is I think people need to understand and reprioritize and start reframing how the things that they're so passionate in their life that it's impacting their ability to be happy. Because I don't think gay people are happy. I think straight people are unhappy. I think gay people are unhappy. I think the only people right now that are super happy are like the super fringes that feed on the negativity.
Oh,
and like they're the only ones that it's the far left and it's the far right, because the negativity in the middle and the lack of willingness to compromise and come together and have reasonable conversations about what society has. Like, bro, we're all adults. If you do certain things, we all generally agree on what society's response is. Like pedophilia, murder, rape, these are all commonly agreed upon things. So like, that's no different. And that's trans, that's gay sex, that's alcohol, that's cannabis. And like, we have to go through the process as a country together in a positive way, or we pushed ourselves to the brink of civil war and destruction over what? Trannies and fucking education? Because like Trump is the embodiment of everything on the right and fucking Biden is the embodiment of everything on the left. So like everybody sees corruption on both sides, but nobody's standing in the middle going, you're right and you're right. Everybody, yes. And like start bringing people back into the middle saying, fuck these people and fuck these people. Most Americans are like with exceptions to policy, like most are generally pro-life, but like up to 10 weeks, 12 weeks. Like, I mean, come on, bro. Like, how long do you need? Like, you know what I mean? Like, every state allows gay marriage, bro. I mean seriously. Yeah,
it does. But at some
50 years to be like, hey, we can get married. And people are like, yay!
Shut the fuck up.
And then they just find something else to be mad about.
Stop it, bro. This is why I need to hurry up and go to video, because this video will just be I mean, okay, I agree with you on somewhat, bro. I'm not going to take it away from you.
It is because it's reasonable, man. Gay people want the same thing as straight people. They want a safe place to live their life. They want a job that gets them most of everything they need and some of what they want. They want the opportunity to have a family. and that family have better opportunities than them. Those are commonplace. The problem comes when people feel the need to interject, or the people feel the need to overstep or enforce certain lifestyles on other people, regardless if it's gay people on straight people or straight people on gay people, or trans on David Chappelle. Like, it's out there because that's what people have made it.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate, man, because you get flack for having me on and someone's going to judge me for not saying what they wanted me to say to a gay dude.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell them, man.
Oh, well. If I lose friends or fans, it's whatever. I ain't tripping.
Whatever, bro. When I run for president, just rally Portland around me. It'll be the most awkward campaign speech in the world. I'm like, what's up, hippies? Yeah.
Don't stereotype Portland, bro. I already get enough flack from being from Portland.
I smoke weed.
Yeah, I fucking wish.
I inhale.
Anyways, y'all, we were at the ending of the show, and I would like to thank,
We ranted again.
Nah, it was fun. And no, I really like this. This one's, I'm finna upload this shit as soon as I get off here. But I'm so excited for having you on here, man. Finally, like this was a good episode. I'm sure you'll be back on here a few more times eventually if time warrants itself. But yeah, I just want to say to y'all, like, I promise, like, this season is going to be better. Great. I'm about to have more podcasters on here. Less friends, because that shit has been getting hectic. Having like my homies on here and shit is weird. But yeah, I just want to say thank you guys for liking, sharing, subscribing, and welcome back to season 4. This is going to be great. And all right, we're out. Peace.